I have recently made a couple mistakes. One involves procrastination, and the other one involves procrastination as well. So last afternoon, I was actually becoming the type of person, improving my self image to the type of person so that I can actually become the man worthy enough to make $2,000 in the month of December this year from this YouTube channel in ad revenue. I was becoming that type of person. I was hyper productive, smashing out all of the tasks. I was unstoppable and I had heaps of energy left in the tank. But about after dinner, that was when I started to tell myself that, yeah, I've done enough. I reckon I deserve a break. Wrong. Especially when I was in the flow state of smashing all those tasks out very productively, very effortlessly as well. I had heaps of energy as well. That I could not just abandon that. I had to keep that energy flowing throughout my whole life, because that is how 2.0 version of me lives. He is hyper productive, never stops working, always works hard, always improves all of his skills necessary for major improvement to produce major results to achieve his goal. That is what something he would do. Not just say, yep, I've done enough. I deserve to take a rest and just relax. That is not how he thinks. That is not how he thinks at all. However, I was quite fatigued after dinner. That would have contributed to some of that, feeling some of those thoughts arising. And also this morning, I'm recording my video a bit later. But even though I've made these mistakes, I'm happy I made them. I'm glad I made them, because there is signs of opportunity for growth. From when I procrastinated this morning, as soon as I woke up, I grabbed my iPad and watched YouTube. Are you kidding me? I'm not that type of person. So from now on, every time, because I keep my iPad in my room to record first thing, straight after I do the goal ritual, which is the purpose of this challenge. My self-image improvement challenge is so that I can perform my goal ritual, visualizing success as much as possible, vividly as possible, all the details, and feeling immersed in the moment and assuming that I've already achieved it. Doing that consistently as much as possible throughout the day, that is why I'm doing this challenge. And I've been very successful at it. And I'll get to the results in this challenge in a minute, but I need to analyze the mistakes and to prevent them from ever happening again. From dinner, from now on, every time I do the goal ritual, I'll foresee myself procrastinating on some task or repeating one of the same mistakes I've made in the past again. And every time I foresee that, before it exactly happens, I'll be like, no. I snap out of that mindset. I'm back into the zone. I'm back. 2.0 version of me is back. And for me right now, I'm going to try and tell myself that this results are effortless. Every improvement I make is becoming much easier. It's becoming much, much easier the more I try this. And as I was talking to myself yesterday in the afternoon, after dinner, that was when I actually started telling myself, you know what, it's actually getting quite hard. I feel quite a lot of resistance. Wrong. That is my monkey brain taking control of me. Oh, Hudson. My name is Hudson, by the way. Hudson does not think any of those thoughts. Cut them out, slap out of it, back into the zone, drop down, 5 push-ups. Even though it's only 5 push-ups, it's not much. It's just to get me more disciplined and snap out of it. 5 push-ups is enough for me to snap out of it, slap out of it, and take control of my thoughts. Whenever you start procrastinating or just falling into a hole of deep trouble, just tell yourself that everything you do from now on is going to get much, much easier the more that you try it. And that is true. And the more you tell yourself otherwise, the more that you'll actually believe it. Don't repeat that mistake, because that's the mistake that I have made. Also, try and foresee failure. Prevent yourself from making the same mistakes. Prevent yourself from making the worst mistakes of your life. That will save plenty of time, and I'm going to add that to my goal ritual of where I will actually see myself preventing myself from digging myself in a hole and making a bad mistake. I won't make any more bad mistakes anywhere near as often as I do now. I encounter one pretty much every week or so, but now it's going to be once a month, then once every 3 months, then once a year, then none at all. But I do believe it's important to not only to make mistakes, but they have to be very different, and you have to make them for the purpose of learning other ways for better improvement. And that's also another thing that I've got to add to foreseeing failure. You see, you know what, that's a genius idea. I've never even thought of that. As I was uploading this to YouTube, I haven't really gotten edited well enough, in my opinion. It's just me speaking to the camera, and that's about it. My viewers may not even like this content, and they wouldn't even want to watch it for 10 minutes straight. I don't blame them. So, I've made this mistake, and let's learn from it. I am going to edit my videos bit by bit, just to make it, just to spice up the content a bit, so that I can make sure that my younger self's attention span can watch the whole thing. The reason why I'm making this video is because as soon as you make a mistake, do not beat yourself up for it. I am someone who overthinks the process quite a lot, and whenever I make a mistake, I assume that, I'm done. You know what? I'm not doing this anymore. Wrong. That is my younger self's thinking. That is not good enough to become the 2.0 version of me. That is not the type of person to actually be making $2,000 in the month of December this year from his YouTube channel in ad revenue. That is not enough. Cut it out, slap out of it. So, as soon as you make a mistake, it is important that you spring back from failure just like that. Do not let it affect your mindset. Do not let it affect your thoughts, and do not let it affect the rest of your day. Spring back from it as fast as possible, and more importantly, analyze how and why you failed. That is very important, as you will prevent yourself from making the same mistake and tripping over again in the future. That is why failing forward is very important. Fail as often as possible, but not to purposely make the same mistakes or to make mistakes as often as you have. But I think I said that wrong. See, even I'm making mistakes, but I'm not beating myself up for it. I'm proud of making mistakes. That's who I am. I'm human. To only make mistakes for the purpose of just making mistakes, that's not good enough. I believe you should try many things and get as far out of your comfort zone as possible. And even if you do make many mistakes, that is actually very excellent. As if you use those mistakes as opportunities for growth and understand why you failed and how you failed, that is when you can make significant more progress than your competition. And I wish that you can have that for yourself. So, let's wrap up this video and conclude what we actually learned. I made a mistake of procrastinating, not once but twice, and beat myself up for it. I didn't beat myself up as much as I used to, but that still affected my mindset, my thoughts, and it impacted my performance partially throughout today. To prevent this is to foresee myself procrastinating again and then stepping out of it and springing back to failure, understanding how I procrastinated and how I can prevent it in the future. So for me right now, as I procrastinated this morning, I'm going to bring my iPad all the way over here, and that will be my cue to actually start recording and speaking to the camera, because I'm building my skills of speaking to the camera. And I got to add that to my goal ritual and do that as often as possible and to the best of my abilities. Visualize success, feel all the emotions, assume that I've already achieved it, and see all the vivid details of not only when you've achieved your goal, but all the way up to the build up as well. And I've got to add more details to this visualization process, as right now I just believe that every time I check my phone I can see notifications of, well, I check my email, I don't have any notifications on my phone or any of my devices, but whenever I check my email I can see that I get many notifications about getting paid from YouTube, and that's really enlightening and that's really liberating for me, as I haven't made much money yet. I can see myself as becoming a successful YouTuber. I am in the beginning stages, but not for long. I'm about to crack into the intermediate stage. Use mistakes to your advantage. I wish you all the best in your self-improvement journeys, and of course, have a good one.